With an estimated 39 million residents, California is one of the most populous states in the United States. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Disneyland, and Hollywood are just a few of the famous cities and landmarks in this region. After New York City, Los Angeles is the most populous city in California. Beginning in the colonial era, Los Angeles has seen several changes over the course of history. How did California become such a fantastically affluent state? What is the Great California Exodus? The California Exodus is an alleged major migration of Californians and businesses to other U.S. states, mainly Texas and Florida. Is it possible to undo in any way? Why do the majority of its inhabitants find it uninhabitable? How will the departure of large firms affect California? Keep watching to the very end to learn all the answers. But first, how did California's ascent start? James Marshall moved toward the American River, and when he grabbed something up from the ground, he realized it was made of gold, which made his pulse race. Hundreds of millions of people from all over the world would suddenly pour into the California mountains in pursuit of their own personal fortunes, wading through dirty rivers in a single second. California in 1848 was very different than what it is today. Despite being a recognized Mexican territory, it was under American occupation during the Mexican-American War. Despite its vast size and generally pleasant climate, it was home to only about 150,000 people, with 4.5% of them being non-Native Americans. All of this would shortly change with the discovery of gold by James Marshall. Over 300,000 people arrived in total, including people from China, South America, Australia, and Europe, as well as the United States. San Francisco became the port and entrance to the Golden Gate Bridge for all of these new arrivals. As a result, its population increased from 200 in 1848 to 37,000 in just 5 years. Later, gold mining became so profitable that crews and captains alike chose to try their luck at gold mining, resulting in the dominance of abandoned ships at San Francisco's port. A thriving and booming economy emerged and keep up with the enormous demand, which the miners would fuel with their newly discovered wealth. This included the rise of numerous new towns and cities. While some entrepreneurs opened stores, others decided that starting a farm in the Central Valley would be more profitable. California also benefited greatly from its location due to its fertile Central Valley. The Central Valley's communities were beginning to run out of water due to the state's ongoing population increase. Large-scale water projects costing billions of dollars were launched to reroute a lot of water in order to fix this. The Central Valley Project was among them. The Los Angeles Aqueduct and numerous other projects helped cities and agricultural areas get the much-needed water that they needed from the rivers and mountains. The ideal climate proved to offer tremendous potential for agriculture. California started using winter wheat, and by 1890, it was the biggest producer. The heartland of California became the most productive agricultural region in the country as a result, enabling the capacity for much more population. Additionally, its extensive coastline allowed for a thriving fishing sector and was ideal for trade, particularly with Asia. Please subscribe for more videos like this before moving forward. Before California developed into an economic, agricultural, and technological powerhouse, it was responsible for some of the history's most significant innovations, and it became a major exporter of entertainment and culture. For a century and a half, it was the land of opportunity in a country already renowned for its abundance. Its cutting-edge infrastructure, educational excellence, affordable land, and consequently, its thriving economy made it the envy of the globe. California became the easiest place in the world to work hard and be rewarded, yet this isn't true for everyone. The construction of the Southern Pacific Rail line connected it to the rest of the world. The city moved from being a deserted outpost to a metropolis. The population of the city increased as more individuals moved into the area in search of a healthier climate. Los Angeles started to develop into a major metropolis between the late 1800s and the early 1900s. A great deal of economic growth, including the expansion of the oil sector, businesses, and other services, as well as suburban expansion, contributed to the city's success. This unprecedented economic and population growth allowed California to avoid being considered a territory. It became a fully independent state by 1850 with the power to define its own borders. The newly elected administration, flush with wealth, began to take on urgently needed infrastructure projects, and they massively invested in education, implementing a nearly universal school system and building its first institutions. While the gold eventually dried up, California's economy received another enormous boost. The Central Pacific's rail line construction began in 1863, and it joined the Union Pacific Line in Utah just 6 years later. California and the rest of the United States were now physically connected, and by the turn of the 20th century, California had begun to take the lead in driving the growth of the U.S. economy. California's population had grown 13 times by 1900 and showed no signs of slowing down. However, a few crucial elements would transform California from a regional to a world power. The first was the finding of a significant, readily usable oil deposits close to Los Angeles. Additionally, kerosene from the San Joaquin Valley was quickly replacing whale oil. For lubrication, lamp oil was becoming essential in the burgeoning machine age. And when a huge oil sector developed in a response to the rise of the automobile, the country became desperate for gasoline. And by 1903, California was pumping out 4 million barrels annually, making it the nation's top producer. However, despite all of its splendor, California lost population in 2020, a phenomenon known as the Great California Exodus. Thousands have been leaving the Golden State over the past 20 years, and the rate is now accelerating. They all mention the high cost of living in California. Californians need at least 7 times their median salary to purchase a modest single-family home. In fact, California's unfriendly economic climate is the reason for this move. Taxes, living expenses, and California's median income all contribute to the state's massive economy. It would come in 5th place on the globe if it were a distinct nation. Only Hawaii has a cost of living that is higher than it. It should come as no surprise that California has the highest proportion of people who live in poverty and possibly half the country's total homeless population. However, California's economic problems have existed since the conclusion of the Cold War, and this is only the beginning. California's military and nearby supply chain industries suffered severe losses in 1991. California was beginning to stop being the employment factory it once was as a result of this, as well as the general trend of American corporations relocating manufacturing work elsewhere. Since then, its unemployment rate has been consistently higher than the rest of the country. The highest paying positions, specifically those hurting blue-collar and middle-class populations, are in Silicon Valley, which has never been a significant employer. California is currently in a catch-22 as the economy becomes more and more uneven. Voter demand for higher taxes on the wealthy also exists, and as these taxes rise, more businesses and the wealthy people depart, taking their business with them. It appears that California's leaders and population will recognize this problem after it is too late. Budget changes have been necessary in some states, such as New Jersey, and Elon Musk made a shift from Los Angeles to Austin, where Tesla is constructing its upcoming gigafactory. He mentioned freedom as a key factor in his decision to relocate to Texas and criticized California's strict handling of the outbreak. Musk reopened his plant in defiance of California's shutdown order, drawing harsh criticism from several politicians. Elon Musk leaving California would not force them to change their budget at the moment, when only one billionaire had left the state. But as he departs, and businesses like HP, Oracle, and others move a sizable portion of their operations, Toyota, Charles Schwab, Nestle, and other big corporations have recently relocated their corporate headquarters outside of California. This has a tremendous influence both now and in the future. What's really expected is that the really big established businesses will have an established pathway here are leaving. You can work whenever you want because of the pandemic. You can relocate to a place with a lower cost of living and taxes, and as a result, not only California, but also New York and other states are affected by this issue. Will California be affected by major corporations departing, with an economy larger than many nations? Can California afford to lose billionaires like Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world? Finding competent individuals in other locations is not as difficult now that other regional centers like Austin, Texas are growing. With technology, California's comparative advantages are steadily eroding. Businesses are finding that they can create considerably more value for shareholders, earn bigger profits, and recruit high-quality people for less money outside of California. Despite threats to increase taxes even further, 1,800 businesses left in 2016 alone, and currently the state loses 12 big corporate offices each month. The billions of dollars in state taxes required to maintain the increasing population of the poor are irreversibly destroyed as they depart. However, the current technological boom has resulted in less employment and greater wealth disparity. The once mighty California dream of toiling hard and being paid is beginning to crumble. Despite this, California will probably continue to dominate the world economy, albeit to a lesser extent. The middle and lower classes will bear the financial and social weight. All that glitters is not gold, especially when you're struggling to make ends meet in the Golden State.